and let's pop out to some messages. We're gonna have some fun today. This will be recorded. It's Cyber Monday. It's back to work, I guess, for people. It's back to school for some. Our kids actually have the week off, not the week off, the day off. Our school does something weird. After a long holidays, they take the Monday off to give like an extra break, I guess, and let the teachers get caught up, which is cool for them. And for us, we have the kids one more day. But anyway, we're gonna have some fun this morning. It's Cyber Monday. Does anybody actually know how Cyber Monday? Um, does anybody actually know how Cyber Monday got started? Like, is it just? I mean, where'd Black Friday come from? And it was like Black Friday a negative thing? Is it a positive thing? I don't actually know. My gut tells me though, in the next, I'm gonna switch you guys over to my computer. You guys okay with that? Let me switch over to my computer. I feel like I can't see anybody. All right, I'm back. Is that better? I can see y'all. I'm super excited. Marta is translating in Spanish, so I'll talk slowly, as slow as I can. We're gonna have fun today. We're gonna keep it tight. We're gonna keep it short, but we're gonna dive right in. Before I kind of well, let me ask you this question: how many of you guys would you guys like to kind of know maybe some? Anybody would like to know like maybe the plan for the rest of the month? Um, Anyone at all? Anybody want to know the plan for the rest of the month? You know, normally we keep a lot of this tight to the chest, but I figure why not? Why don't we just talk about it? Why don't we just plan out what we can do for the rest of the month? Um, and so I'm gonna actually tell you guys what we're gonna do, like what the rest of the month looks like. Does it mean it could it change? Yes, it could. Does it mean that it's exactly the way it is? No, not necessarily, but I want to give the intention behind it all. I do have a couple people that are come on, just give some additional tips um, on how to maximize discounts and sales and things like that. But one of the hardest things for me to do was actually I got to ask this question: who's like me that never done real sales before? You wouldn't consider yourself a salesperson, right? I mean, look at everybody that okay, who actually is good at sales. Maybe you guys are already good. So I had a hard time with, let's call it, selling. And so it was awkward for me. I felt uncomfortable. And I actually felt I mean, I'm talking about this I've been improving since like literally the first online orders ever taken, through the biggest back order in the history of the planet of ketones. And could you imagine we got back ordered 16 or 17,000 orders? Like people were getting their smart ship before they were getting their orders. It was back ordered so far that they would place their order. It wouldn't come for 8 weeks, but their smart ship showed up first, so they got charged twice. But their smart ship arrived and their order would arrive way later. Like that was actually a fun time. It was actually not fun. And this is my first exposure. So when it came to sales, when we did discounts and new products and a new flavor drop and all this other stuff, it was really kind of like I had a hard time with that. And all it was is I didn't understand the psychology behind it. I was under this mindset that I have to sell everybody everything. And so what I did is I sat on my hands for many years. I literally, is anybody like this? Am I just the only person that thinks this way or was this way? Or did anybody else have this kind of like, wow, I feel like I got to sell or I'm selling all the time? And, and I'm talking about to like face to face. I'm talking about on social media, the whole thing, right? Then this epiphany happened to me, and I want to share that with y'all. If you guys would like this epiphany, I'd love to share it with y'all, because as soon as I realized what I'm going to share with you, it changed the way I looked at it all. And I don't feel the same pressure. I don't feel like there's like I don't feel like I'm selling anything. Now, you can make the argument that you're not selling something you're passionate about. You can make that argument, right? I mean, am I really selling ketones? No, I'm selling health and wellness. And I'm passionate about helping people, right? But at the same time, I felt something inside of me felt off about another sale, another flavor, whatever that was. And so, if you guys want to, I'll share it. I'll share with you what my epiphany was, and that it made it so much easier just to promote or to sell or to share the next conversation. Would you guys want that? I can't tell. I only see like 2 people shaking their heads, so I'm not sure if we should actually. I can just change gears if you guys want to. Okay, I'll do that. Maybe you guys all figured it out. Maybe I should have you guys training me. How about that? Okay, so here's what I realized is that everything that we do when it comes to a new flavor, a new product, or it comes to a new technology, or to a discount or promotion, everything we do is a way to create more conversations. That's all it is. And my epiphany was this. Let's say that let me just tell you, I'm going to say something here. Let's just say that tomorrow we're going to drop a sale on pineapple, blackberry pineapple. Let's just say tomorrow we're going to drop a sale on blackberry pineapple. Let's just say, hypothetically, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not going to say that that's going to happen. Let's just say that's going to drop tomorrow. And I would get super, super weird and uncomfortable about like, okay, we just dropped Pudding Pop. We just dropped the ampules. We just dropped, Keto Up today. And then tomorrow we're doing something else. Like, I can't keep selling everybody this another product. They're going to think I'm just trying to sell everything. Right. And I'm just sell. I have nothing else to talk about. So what I realized is that everything that is dropping is a conversation starter. Right? So let's just say that we're dropping a keto cream tomorrow. Let's say that we're dropping a sale on a keto cream tomorrow. What that gives me is the ability to create a different conversation with different people, or a new conversation with the same person, right? It gives us the ability to create conversations. This was my epiphany, is every single sale is exciting, especially when it comes to attraction marketing, right? The more you have to create attraction, the more that you can create conversations for people. But when they go to buy, they don't have to buy the sale. They can buy whatever they want. That was my epiphany. I know I'm slow. I'm super slow. But what I mean by that is what happened was I was getting so hung up that I have to sell that one thing. If the new person that's coming on, let's say that I use keto cream as an example, and I'm at work, or I'm at Starbucks. If you guys don't go to Starbucks, if you go to Starbucks and you don't bring your cream and have them put it in the cup, so you go to Starbucks, you take your keto cream and you give it to the person at the counter and say, can you add this first? If you've never done that, it's a guaranteed conversation starter somewhere. Somebody's going to ask you, what the heck you just put in there? It's going to happen, right? So, but if I have that conversation and the person I'm talking to has never had ketones before, and I'm in the conversation, I don't actually care if they buy the discounted keto cream that we're dropping tomorrow, or if they buy ketones. I get to decide the rest of the conversation. Now, we may be talking about keto cream. That might be the entry point. That's fine. Do I care if their first order is keto cream? Not at all. My point to that is that everything that we do, if we have a product that drops tomorrow, let's say rainbow candy drops tomorrow, or a Keto Pro lemon shortbread drops tomorrow, it's a conversation piece. It's a way to talk about, a curiosity way of talking about it. If you're at work, right, and you know that you have somebody that always has protein shakes or goes for protein shakes, well, you have a chance to make a Keto Pro tomorrow at work, or today at work. And you shake it up, and what happens is then they're going, what is that all about? Well, now you have the opportunity tomorrow or to talk about selling Keto Pro. But if it just starts the conversation, that's all that matters. And so what realized for me, if you're like me in any capacity where you feel like, hey, I don't know how to sell, what it is that you get to sell whatever you want. You can sell the promoter pack, you can sell a box of ketones, you can sell the fasting kits, you can sell a bundle, you can sell whatever it is you really want to sell. Everything that we drop is an idea of creating a new conversation. It's an idea of piquing curiosity. That's all it is. You're not required to sell that sale. You can sell anything you want. If you really find your rhythm and you're really good at selling a box of ketones and reboots together, if that's your deal, then great. That's what you end up closing everybody with. But what do you create the starting conversation with is why I love all the discounts and deals. Now I'm like a huge fan of discounts and deals because it allows me as a simple person that doesn't have like a really good creative mind. I rely on all of you guys. I steal a lot of your ideas, by the way. Thank you for that. It allows somebody like me to go, oh my goodness, that's a great idea. I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna talk to my friends this way. When I go to the gym, I'm gonna do that because it allows me to start the conversation. And then after that, I can move to anything I want. For instance, yesterday I'm outside my yard doing my Christmas lights, which I should have showed you guys today. It looks pretty amazing. And the guy comes by and goes, Keto, what's that all about? All he and I talked about was fasting. He fasts. We've talked about fasting. I got him into the conversation through fasting, 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 fasting. That was our conversation. And then I texted him and I go, hey dude, I go, hey, if you ever want to try any samples, just come back by and I'll get you some samples. It'll help extend your fast. So he literally drove back to my house. He goes, I'd love to get some samples. So he's texting me right now. My point is that the conversation really was keto. My car actually got him interested, but the conversation was around fasting. And then the product came in. And I was okay with the process of how it happened. Because at the end of the day, I just want to drink ketones, right? And then enter him any way that works best. If he would just talked about coffee, then I would have probably just talked about cream. So I wanted to share that with you all. I hope that helps when it comes to these different discounts. If you're like me in any capacity where you felt like, wow, there's more. How do I sell all this stuff? You don't have to. You get to pick whatever it is that you think that you can create the most conversations with your family, your loved ones, your work coworkers, at Starbucks, whatever it looks like for you, or on social media, however that may look for you, you get to create that for yourself. And ultimately, you get to lead the conversation to whatever direction you want. And that means also a promoter conversation, right? If you want to lead it in. So the guy yesterday, true story, I had more talk about a promoter conversation than I did anything else. It started with fasting. We talked for quite a while. Started with fasting. I mentioned how I fast with ketones and how it helps me enjoy my fast better. I gave him, hey, I've been fasting for a long time. How long you been fasting? Only about 18 months. Awesome. I go, here's a couple tips if you want them. I LCD'd them. I go, hey, if you're open to suggestions, I'd love to give you my favorite tip around fasting. He goes, well, that sounds good to me. So I gave him my tip after I asked permission. And then he came back and got samples. When he came back, I just said, hey, listen, he's going door to door handing out flyers. True story. He washes windows and he washes solar panels. And I go, we already did ours. We just had somebody come and do ours. So I'm like, maybe next year we'll do it again, right? I'll keep your flyer. So I'm like, is that the only business that you're in? How long you been doing that business? I go, well, if we're launching a new project, listen, he doesn't know Prove It it's new or not, right? He doesn't know anything about Prove It, not at all. I go, if I was launching a new project that I think you could benefit from, would you be interested in learning more? He goes, absolutely. He goes, I'm always looking for extra income. So then it started into the conversation of what he potentially can do with me. It's all a starting conversation. I hope that helps. But it's just something that it starts, you get to decide how you want the conversation to start. And like the sales are ways to pique the curiosity to start the conversation. You get to decide how you want to finish the conversation. What I'm going to challenge with everybody on here today, and we're going to get to some things right now, is this. You can decide. I want you to decide right now for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year, for the rest of your career. How do you want the conversations to go? I have this talk a lot. Is do you want to just sign up customers? And that's okay. If that's what your goal is and that's what you're focused on and that's what you're doing more of a retail type business, awesome. If you want to build a business and you really want to sign a promoter, in the chat, I want you to like give me a 1% to 100%. How many of you want to sign up promoters? And if you really want to sign up promoters, I want you to put 100%. If you kind of don't want to sign up promoters, I want you to put 1%. So it's either going to be 1% or 100%. If you're somewhere in between, you can put 50. But like, if you really want to sign up promoters, I want you to, in your brain, we talked about this. Nick did a great call last week. I'm not sure who he did it with, so I apologize. But he talked about just your intention for the day, your manifesting, your where you put your focus on. And it's such a big thing in what we do. But I feel like I've gotten away with it, or gotten away from it. I think others have too, where we're not focused. We want to build a business, but we actually are not, like, we're not programming ourselves to attract promoters or to have the promoter conversation. I think we're already attracting promoters. I just don't think we're having the conversation. And part of that, of preparing yourself for the conversation, is to think through it, is to is to is to manifest it, is to think about it, is to how would that conversation go? Practice the conversation, practice it in your mind, practice it with your friends. Like, get used to that becoming a normal part of your conversation, because I truly believe that nearly every single customer that comes in to prove it ultimately wants to be a promoter at some level, but we just don't have the conversations with them in the right timing or manner. And most of it is because, not because we can't, it's because it's not our default. We don't think about it enough. So it's hard for it to come up. So that's my shtick for the day. What's up, Carol Maroc? How are you? Samantha, what's up? All right. So what I want to do is, just bear with me for 1 second. Oh, I can't listen to that right now. I'm going to have somebody speak because I'm going to listen to a message. But here's what I want you to do. I got one more soapbox to get on, and then I'm going to hand it off to a couple people. So how many of you, I want you to be super serious with me right now, just super dead serious. How many of you are rebooting right now? Give me me in the chat if you're rebooting. And then and that's okay. How many of you are not rebooting? You can put you in the chat. I don't know. Put a 1. I don't, make it up. Put something in the chat. But we're working on maybe launching a new promotion in the next 7 days around rebooting. Next month, we're going to be rebooting early, probably on the 17th. And what I can tell you for a fact is that if you're not rebooting, most likely you're not selling reboot kits. And if you do the numbers, I'm not sure if Nick's on, but the numbers around the reboot kit is like one of the best valued products for, as a promoter, you can get. It's pretty awesome. And if you're in other countries that don't have reboots, I apologize. Mexico's like, man. So, but it's a great way to boost your business. The challenge is that if we don't do it, we don't talk about it. And so what I would encourage, if you maybe you haven't, a lot of us started last night. If you're not rebooting, finish it with us, because it creates a great conversation. And still, fasting right now is such a big thing. And it can be the iFast also. They're both very valuable. The reboot it's such a low entry point for people that aren't willing to commit to the long haul. And remember, it's reboot your way. You don't have to do the hardcore 60 hours if you don't want to. You can still reboot over the 60 hours, but break it up a little bit. And so I would just say this, is that if you really want to take advantage of a lot of our programs that we do, and ultimately increase your sales, is do the thing. If you go to work right now and you're rebooting, you're going to have conversations. When you go, I'm not going to eat today, they're going to say, what? Yeah, I'm rebooting. It's a metabolic cleanse. I'm getting healthier, right? It's a detox. Whatever buzzwords you want to use, you can use. But at the end of the day, like, it creates the conversations to open the door to have more conversations and for people to want to join you. And remember, next year, things are going to get fun. So we're going to do a really cool reboot launch this month, and an iFast this month of December, the month of December. I would highly encourage every single person, and you get your whole team on board. And maybe we'll do a talk about how do you get your team to buy in on doing it with you? How do you get your team to participate with you? The reason why is, remember, January is around the corner. And the more that you create conversations for the next 30 days, the more that January is going to be a huge month for you, and February to follow. And so I think it's super important. What I would encourage you, if you guys are all committed, if you're committed, what I would tell you all right now, if you want to have a huge business, you want to get healthy, and you want to be a freaking rock star for 2024, in the chat, I want you to, I've already put down who's committed to reboot in December. Come do it with us. I promise you, the coaches are amazing. If you guys haven't seen the Drink Ketosis daily group recently, it's freaking stellar. What they're doing in that group is remarkable. It's the biggest collaboration we've ever done. We have every single team, from Jesse Lee's team to Jamie Lynn's in there. We have Melanie's in there. We have Samantha's in there. We have Of course, Sarah's doing amazing things in there. Amber's in there. We have all these rock stars that are social media like super gurus. Like I feel like a freaking idiot when I'm listening to them talk. They're so smart, and they're making that page absolutely epic. Where you get your customers in there, they're going to do a lot of the work to move them into action, as long as they're willing to participate. And that's only going to get better. So I would just encourage everybody to commit to the reboot for December. Get a kit, have a kit on hand so that you can display it. You can do everything you need to do, but get into that right now. So Samantha, or Lynn, either one. What's the outcome? The outcome is, let's get people focused on. We're going to have some drops. I'm going to put the. You guys want me to put it in the chat? I'll put it in the chat. What we're dropping for the rest of the month. Do you guys want me to do that? Now, the only disclaimer here, if I do this, I might get in trouble. So just so you know, I might get yelled at. We'll see. It can always change. I'm not saying this in concrete. We're not putting it in concrete. What I want to do is I want to give you guys something just to look at. I don't want you to blast it out on social media of like everything that's dropping throughout the week. I want you to look at it as a strategic move that you get to plan for each day throughout the rest of the month. And Samantha, myself, and Lynn are going to give you a couple tips on how to do that. So I'm going to. So Samantha, I would say just take one. You can do what would you post? What would you talk to a coworker? I definitely going to show you guys the back office. If you guys want to do that too, we can do that too. But on the back office, hey, where to go find people that bought that before? I think that's always really important. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to drop that in the chat here right now. Let's see. Like I said, please, whatever you do not post this out live, but and this is up to changing at any time, just for full transparency. But here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. All right. And dropped. And remember, we have Keto Up right now. So today, I know I overtalked Keto Up a little bit. I didn't really put a lot of energy into it. But right now, we have some Keto Up lovers. And this is a great way to go back. So the same thing applies to today for the rest of the month. So let's have some fun with this, guys. So Samantha, Lynn, you guys have a couple tips, I know. I'm going to let you kick it off. I'm going to listen to a voice memo, and I'll be right back because I'm curious to what it's going to say.
You want me to go? Okay. I see you, Lynn. Okay. So, hey, what's going on? I just got a text from Dustin before this, and he asked me to share a few things. And that's why I actually asked him, I was like, what's the outcome? Because I wanted to make sure I was meeting his outcomes. But I'm just going to share a little bit with you guys about what I do when I find out that we have got sales coming up. Is anybody here somebody who likes directive? Like, do you like to be told what to do? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're like, just tell me what to do and how to do it. Okay. Also, drop a 2 in the chat if you're loving these activity Zooms. Like, if that's your style of learning and you like to jump on, be told what to do, be told what's coming, drop a 2. Okay. So I'm seeing 1s and 2s. Fabulous. That's exactly how I am too. So this whole like activity thing and all of the things has been incredible for me. So first things first, I have an image that I have saved that I use for anytime there is a new flavor release, just to help me kind of stay on track. And here's the thing, we're not having a new flavor release right now, but if there's a sale coming, like Dustin mentioned, it's a great opportunity for us to talk about something new. Whether it's a new flavor, whether it's a new product, whether it's a new whatever it is, it's something that we get to talk about. And sometimes that's all we need to start these new conversations. So first things first, this is all about attracting people by leading with excitement and leading with value. Okay. Our goal, or at least my goal is, and I'm going to ask you guys, drop a 3 in the chat if your goal is to attract and magnetize people into your inbox every single day. My goal is to wake up with people ready that want ketones. I woke up this morning because of the things that I did yesterday with people saying, what is this liquid free cell? What are these canned drinks? What is this instant ketosis, right? That is my goal, attraction and magnetism. So write that down somewhere on your desk so you can always like have this reminder, like how can I attract and how can I magnetize people to me? How can I create curiosity? How can I pique interest, right? Through what I'm posting and what I'm sharing. And to be self-aware, something else that I always ask myself is there is this equation that I have for success, and it's exposure times conversion equals results. Exposure times conversion equals results. And I'm going to break that down for you. Exposure is just how many people are seeing your information about ketones, how many people you're actually talking to about ketones, how many people you're exposing ketones to. And then conversion is how fast are you converting them into customers? How fast are they ordering trial packs from you? How fast are they going to your website and ordering? These are the two things. If you want to always be self-aware with yourself, this is what I always ask myself. Do I need to increase my exposure? Do I need to increase the amount of people I'm talking to every day? Or do I need to increase my conversion? Like, am I actually converting these people that I'm like, if you're talking to like 100 people a day, but none of them are buying ketones, then you might need to work on your conversion. Maybe it's language, maybe it's energy, maybe it's, just work with the person you're working with. Or if it's exposure, then we need to find a way to get you into more ketone conversations. And this is going to apply and help you guys knowing that there's a sale coming, because all you have to do is look at one of those two things and say, okay, what are these two things do I need to focus on? That's going to give you results. Okay. Next thing I do is I set a goal. I set a goal for myself and I set a goal with our team. So I always go in our team chat, and for myself, I'm like, all right, everybody is either going to buy or sell at least 10 boxes. If there's a new flavor coming out or if there's a sale dropping, we know that every time there's a discount or every time there's something new, we need to always get it for ourselves. We need to always offer trial packs. We always need to build excitement around it. And we need to buy or sell at least 10 boxes. So whether it's a combination of the two or whatever, you get the buy-in from your accountability partners, your team, your whatever. And then you have lots and lots and lots of product for yourself to sell in trial packs. Create a story, create a post, all the things. Go educate about the product. Tell people why you love this flavor, what the benefits of the flavor that you love, all of these things. These are really, really important things. And I know that we've mentioned this on a lot of these activity Zooms every single day, but these are the things that we literally have to do every single day. This business is the same thing over and over again. It's not just like learning something new all the time, forever and ever. It's doing the same thing over and over. So once this sale drops, you're aware of whether you need to talk to more people, focus on converting them. You're aware of all the people that are curious because of all this curiosity that you're creating. When it drops, you're going to have trials. And I also recommend pre-selling trials. Like when it drops, if you're not sure how many boxes to buy, go start talking to people and sell 3 and 5 pack trials. You'd be surprised how many boxes full of trials you'll sell before you even go order yours, right? You can go back and order even more, pre-sell stuff. You can also play a game in your sample packs and say, I'm packing up 5 of these trials, and one of these trials is going to have a golden ticket. Whoever gets the golden ticket in the mail is going to win a free gift from me when you claim your prize. Message me when you get your golden ticket. There's so many little creative things that you can do. So I think that it's just important to create all that, pique the interest. I don't know exactly if that's what you were looking for, Dustin, but I wanted to give you guys some simple directive and tell you like, hey, this is what you can prepare for. There's a sale coming. Go live, go talk about why you're excited, put a lot of energy, momentum, focus on getting in more conversations, focus on identifying, how am I converting these into customers? And I challenge you guys to message the person that you're working with and say, hey, I listened to this Zoom today, and I heard something that talked about exposure times conversion equals results. Can you help me work on this, whether it's the exposure or the conversion? And that way, your leader, your partner, your coach can help you with the area where you feel you need to improve the most, because we're all always improving, growing, and learning. That's what this is mostly about. So you're welcome. I love you guys. Hopefully that helped. And I can keep going, and I have tons and tons more if you guys want me to.
We could talk for days. Hey, really quick, I want to y'all give Samantha some love in the chat. I want to show you something that I learned, and then I'm gonna kick either back to Samantha or Lynn. And we're gonna keep this tight. Like I said, I rambled a little longer than I anticipated, but let me pull up my screen. This is something that I learned early on, and you got to remember, we always want to create new conversations. At the same time, we have a lot of people that have been here for a while. Maybe they've fallen away a little bit and you just want to find a reason to reconnect with them. So if you go to, can I share my screen, Christina? I don't see access. Oh, here it is. It just changed where I have to do it from. So if you go to your back office, um, and just for full transparency again, I get overwhelmed very easily by all this stuff. My brain doesn't go here very easily. But if you go to your community, manage community, and go up to insights, so what you can do is and if you have the bandwidth, you can do your personal team if you want to. You can actually go to your community, you can go to your sponsor tree team, your first 3 levels, or your whole organization. Come down here, order history. I'm trying to show you guys this because this is how my brain works. I sometimes need to see it. Filter, and then you can put in the product. So let's say that's the name, product name. So which one of the products that's dropping? I just dropped it in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. All right, let's put in there. All right, we're gonna do our first 3 levels here. We're gonna do order history. Why the first 3 levels? Your team volume. And I don't know how many I'm going to have on here. So I did the first 3 levels. So I hopefully can show you more. I'm going to put blackberry pineapple. How's that? Okay. Give it a second. So we're going to do filter. And then we're going to do blackberry pineapple. So we can just put blackberry probably. And then what happens, this comes up and it's going to show everybody that's ordered blackberry. What the cool thing about this is now it gives you a list of people to reach out to, and you can go and send them a text, you can send them an email, you can send them whatever you want. But I can go back for all the time that people have ordered blackberry. I can go back for hundreds of orders, and I can reach out to them and say, hey, listen, I saw that you, and I would prioritize it, your number one, level 2, level 3, if you know who they are. But go back and you can now just say, hey, I don't know if you saw. Now I would wait till it drops. I don't know if you saw this blackberry just dropped. I know you enjoyed it before. I just wanted to give you a heads up. No big deal. So it gives you a way to reconnect with somebody from the past. Maybe you start and you go, hey, listen, I'm going to start with people that are the furthest away. Who was they ordered the longest ago? You can search that over here. You can go, actually, never mind. You have to download it to do that. Never mind. 1 second. Can we do that? Sort. So you can sort by date, maybe, but you can get in and you can get fun with it if it's available there. I don't know if it actually is, but anyway, you can sort it and it is by date. Yeah, you can do it by date. So you can actually look at who ordered the longest ago, and then you can reconnect with them. So to me, these are really cool. You can do that for every product or every technology. And so I would just encourage people to use that because it gives you, it sparks your memory of who to connect to. If you're like, well, I don't know who to say, I did my post, I talked to my 2 people that I know. Well, what else do I do? This is an avenue to go down and start sifting and sorting through relationships. You got to remember, some people that just need to be reconnected. They just need to be talked to. They just need a hug. They need to know that you're alive and that you know that they're alive. And this system gives you the opportunity of a way to reconnect with some of those people. And guess what? I don't care if your personal promoters are no longer engaged. Go to your team, go to your first 3 levels, reach out to level 2 or level 3, and just be cool when you do it. Like, hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up, and you can send them a text, you can send them an email, whatever available communications you have with them. So I wanted to show that to you all because it was super helpful for me. It took me a while. I had to see that a few times, and it took me a rhythm to get into to be able to reconnect to these people. Now, remember, our goal is always to reconnect to new people. At the same time, it's okay to fish in your own pond, meaning people that have already bought in the past, it's okay to reconnect with them, right? And maybe it just wasn't their time 4 years ago. Maybe their time is today. So I wanted to show you that tip. And then the last little tip I want to show you, if you go to your action tab up here, hit contacts. If you haven't reached out to people that are maybe if they're going to your website and they're putting their information in, make sure you reach out to these people. Shauna actually just bought. I'm not sure why she doesn't show in there. But anyway, but reach out to these people so that you, and I didn't know this was here, by the way, y'all. I've missed this forever. Mandy Mitchell said it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm missing all these communications. But I have a couple of emails. I get to reach out to them and I get to let them know, hey, listen, we happen to have a sale right now. We happen to have this. How can I serve you? How can I help you? And get them started as soon as you can. So I hope that all makes sense, y'all. I'm going to stop my screen sharing here. Lynn, is there anything else, Sam, anything else you want to give around these sales for the rest of the month?
Dustin, I'll just tag on to what you were just doing. I just want to say that we're getting information ahead of time. And when we have information is power, so we know what's coming. This morning, I got up and I did exactly what Dustin just did. And I went into my back office, everyone that ordered keto up. Why? Because it's BOGO today. That is an incredible sale. So I did that this morning and I reached out to everyone. I went all the way back 5.5 years. Well, I guess we haven't even had it 5.5 years, Dustin, like maybe 4.5 years we've got keto up. And I reached out to everyone. I don't care if they haven't ordered in 3 years. And I let them know the greatness of this product, but it's doing exactly what Dustin just said. It's given me the opportunity to talk to these people that I haven't talked to maybe in 3 years, or maybe they haven't engaged with me in 3 years. So use that as a very powerful tool to be able to connect with people. And if you're newer, know that you have that, like you have that tool in your tool belt right now. Just starting these conversations again is so important. Dustin, I know we're going a little long, but the importance of conversations to me is very, very dramatic over these last few days of just re-engaging people and reaching out to them and not making it weird and not making them feel bad that they stopped. So keep that in mind. You talk from your heart and utilize the tools that we have and listen to what they're saying and where they're at in their lives, and we can help them get back on track.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, y'all. So let's have some fun. And let's just have more conversations. And conversations sometimes are new, sometimes they're old, sometimes they're a refresh. The reality is I was thinking about you, James Rice, just a second ago. Is the reality is that most of our conversations that we're having are not to new. They're not to strangers. Most of the conversations we have are people that we've already connected with at some level. So it's refreshing a conversation. If you think about that, if you look at everybody that you've ever signed up and Prove It, every single person, most likely you've had a conversation with them before. Most likely. There's maybe a few of you that are really good at setting up strangers that you've never really talked to. But most of us, it's somebody that you've talked to before. So it's about restarting that conversation up. Maybe it's a friend from high school. Maybe it's somebody that you met a long time ago. Maybe it was an old colleague. Maybe it was a BNI group person that you met. Maybe it was whoever it might have been, right? But most of us are just starting a conversation again. So think about your business is how many conversations can you restart? How many conversations can you get going of somebody that you knew from before or somebody that you met over the last, 3, 4, 5 months in your personal life, right? Maybe it's a school that you're the parent from the schools that you went to. It's starting that conversation. So really think about that as how many conversations are you in? How many have you started? And so let's start looking at how many have you started. And right now, over the next 4 days, if whoever starts the most conversations right now, whoever starts the most conversations with the right intentions and the energy and the willingness to serve others, really will ultimately have the best end of the month, but the best launch of December into 2024, y'all. And I just got to remind you, 2024 is going to be an epically crazy cool year. And so I just want to say thank you. If you guys remember the little formula that Samantha put in that she said, you guys, can you put it in the chat? Because I'd love to know what she said again, because I was listening to Brian talk actually when she said that. What's the formula that Samantha put in the chat? If you don't mind, put it in the chat for me. What was that formula again? But hey, with that said and done, happy Cyber Monday. Success equals exposure times conversations equals result. Success equals exposure. This kind of sounds like a little bit of Nick's one. I don't know, Nick said something similar to that, but exposure times conversations equals results. Exposure times conversations. Exposure. So attraction is exposure. How do we find more ways to get exposed or to attract? Conversations. Remember, the conversation is the conversations you get to lead. You get to decide, are you exposing enough people? Are you exposing yourself to enough people? Oh my goodness. Are you exposing yourself to enough people? Amanda, get your head out of the gutter. That's not cool. Conversations. How is the conversation going? Where are you leading the conversation to? What is your outcome of that conversation? Right? The outcome should be maybe just relationship building. If they're new and you're just trying to develop the relationship, the guy that saw my car just texted me again this morning. I've been going back and forth. Most of my exposure, my conversation with him is about relationship building. We got to build some level of trust. And of course, he's now following me on social media. So he's seeing exactly, am I betraying the person that I want, that he wants to follow? Does that make sense? Now that we met in person, he's following me over here. Am I betraying? Is that's part of my conversation to him, right? So the result now is going to come over time. The result might be fast. I got him samples already, right? So the result might be fast. The result might be slow. It might be a build up over time for me to ultimately move him into action. My conversation, as I'm thinking two things. One, he would make one hell of a customer. But two, I think he'd be really good at the opportunity. Why do I think that? He's a business owner. He was walking door to door handing out flyers. He was walking door to door handing out flyers. He's willing to do what it takes to be successful. Does that make sense? He cleans windows and washes windows and washes the top of the roof solar panels. Maybe he makes a great living doing that. One injury away from not ever working again, y'all. One injury away from not being able to provide for his family. I know that because I've done extreme, like that's crazy. You're on roofs cleaning things, like things happen. He's an entrepreneur. He just texted me. He's like, I love talking to other business owners and entrepreneurs. Exactly what he said. So my brain goes to, he'd make one hell of a customer. Also, how do I start to layer in a potential opportunity to talk about the conversation around the opportunity, right? When is that right time? That time comes through conversations. So I love that formula, Samantha. I truly appreciate that. But I want you all to assess yourself and send it to your team leader. How is your exposure? Do you need to get better at exposing? If you're having conversations, how are the conversations leading you to a outcome, to a result? And if not, then let's freaking solve that. And if you need help solving that, then let's do this. If I really want, like, hit your team leaders on this and let's really figure this out. If you have a hard time, because listen, we do a lot about how to get exposed, right? We talk a lot about attraction. But how many people are missing the conversation to the result? How many of us are not converting that part of it? Because you can say all day long, it's just, it's people will say this all the time. It's about attraction. It's about attraction, about attraction. Well, no, it's about attraction plus the conversation to the result. Or how many conversations you've had? How many of you have had 1,000 conversations, but very little result? Like you're not converting the results, right? Lisa's like, me. Well, why don't we do this? If you guys want to, I'm getting fired up, y'all. This is what happens. Why don't we do this? If it's just you, Lisa, then we'll just do a small little huddle up. But I think one of the next these Zooms that we're doing, Huddle Zooms, is we literally focus on that. Well, let's do an interview. Let's do a live coaching. Why are you not converting your conversation? You got all the exposure, but what's missing in there? Is it you're jumping the gun too hard on the sale? Is it you're not relatable? Is it you're goofy and you're weird and people are getting scared off? I don't think that's the case. But maybe it's because we're being too sciencey and not story-based. Maybe it's just we got to tell our story and be quiet, right? What is the thing that's not leading to the result? And if you guys want to do that, I think that, to me, role-playing makes it easy because I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing that same thing. So, I'm done. If you guys want to do that, hit your team leaders up. We can play with that a little bit and do some like role playing. Like let's work through what's not working. If you're not getting any eyeballs on your stuff, meaning if you're out in town wearing keto swag, if you're at the grocery store, if you're at work, if you're at a family event, and you're not getting anybody to talk about ketones, then that means you're not attracting, right? So why? How do we change that? What can we do for you? And then if you are attracting and you're starting talking, but nobody's converting, something's missing in there. And I'm pretty sure if it's missing for one, it's missing for a lot. So why don't we have some fun with that? If you guys are open to it, we can do that. Maybe we'll do it on Monday of next week. I'll talk to the team and see what we can put together. Went 15 minutes over. Sue me. I appreciate you all. Have an awesome Monday. We'll see you guys all Wednesday. Stay tuned. We might be doing a company-wide live coming up. If you haven't got back into the Prove It Facebook group, the reboot or the Drink Ketones Daily group, get in there, play around a little bit, and be ready. We're going to have some tutorials that are going to come with us because y'all, that group, if done properly, should be able to help your customers get a good experience, but also help start them getting them to share and do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. But we got to use the group to get that benefit. But that's another day for another conversation. Sam, Lynn, appreciate you guys. You guys all have another amazing day. And everybody in the chat, before you go, give Christina Martinez some love. She is a awesome, amazing person that has been supporting us for the last handful of months. And honestly, Christina, we couldn't do this without your support. So we truly appreciate it. Thank you guys. Cheers.